Namaste, beloveds. This is Valerie Ames, Mother Wit, Wisdom, Ocean 9. As I explained in the previous video, I'm getting ready to read some cards from different decks. My tarot readings aren't like most, being that I don't read from the prescribed in the prescribed manner. I do not adhere to cards being um, in a reverse position or in a certain sequential order, anything like that. I just allow them to speak. And if I'm reading from the book, I just allow the book to speak of what that card is speaking of, what it has to say in the moment. And um, I don't I'm not seeking a certain, there's no question. There's only, in the previous video, I said if there was a well of water, a pool of water with different stones at the bottom of it, and I just reached my hand and just pulled up a stone and allowed that stone to just start speaking and talking and saying what it weren't communicating to me. That is how I um, do tarot. So this is what I'm getting ready to do now. So thank you. I already shuffled and got my cards and so forth. So the um, the reading itself could go um, a lot smoother. So here we go. Excuse me for fidgeting. Um, it's dark, so it is what it is, I guess, and I just gotta let it be. Here we go. The first card is from the, oh gosh, okay, there we go. You can see it. Okay. This is from the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And for those of you that know, Doreen Virtue is no longer um, doing tarot or oracle cards in that form. She has converted to a form of Christianity where she isn't using them. At least the last time I checked. So things could be different now. I don't know, but I'm just giving you information. Okay, here we go. This card, consult a nutritionist. You drew this card because diet is the foundation of the situation you're inquiring about. Improvements in food and beverage choices can therefore improve health. A licensed or registered nutritionist can assess your lifestyle and dietary needs and create satisfying meal strategies. If you're asking about the health of a person who normally eats poorly, there's a strong possibility that a nutritionist will be able to present scientific logic that will motivate the individual to choose healthier foods. Possible specific meanings. Study nutrition and its influence upon health. Eat more healthily. Listen to your intuitive feelings about making positive dietary changes. Honor your body by feeding it wholesome, nutritious foods. And the prayer. Dear Archangel Raphael, I turn my eating over to you and ask you to guide me to foods and beverages that taste good and are fulfilling and support my ideal health and weight. And again, beloveds, this is very important in that um, right now is the Thanksgiving season, and currently they're um, asking everyone to stay at home basically and to not travel all over, to be with relatives and everything for this time. And that is because healing needs to take place on a larger level, on a more impactful level because of the COVID. We are not just, we are so entrenched in our traditions and our historic values that we won't even pay attention to what is scientifically correct and prudent for not only our health, but the health of our loved ones and the health of strangers if we're interacting with them. Because this disease can impact anyone at any given moment. And carriers of it are not always symptomatic. And just because you have a negative test result doesn't mean that you are not a carrier of it. So for me, this card is saying basically be your own spiritual nutritionist at this moment and understand what you're consuming. What kind of data are you consuming? What kind of wisdom are you consuming? Are you on a diet, or are you restricting yourself from the things that you know could hurt you? There are many ways Spirit speaks to us, beloveds. Wisdom has so many dialects, so many inflections, so many different ways to speak to us. Are you listening? Are you listening? The next card is from Messages from the Animal Spirit Guides, and this is by Stephen D. Farmer. And the card that presented itself is the Snow Leopard, and it says, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Okay. And this is what the book says. Take some time out from your usual life and spend it in solitude. It can be difficult these days to spend time in solitude, to unplug, get off the electronic grid, and find a quiet place in or near nature. Yet it's important to do so. At this time, turn off the phone, computer, and television, if only for a few hours. Although you may feel a little anxious and restless when you first do so, these feelings will pass. And beloveds, it's funny that it mentioned anxious when I just spoke of being anxious in the prior video. Use the time for contemplation and meditation. It's not isolation, it's solitude. Solitude is a conscious and loving choice to be alone for a period of time, while isolation is a habitual and reflexive coping pattern to avoid discomfort and intimacy. Wow, there's a big, huge divide in those two comparisons of isolation and solitude. Solitude and isolation. Solitude is a conscious and loving choice to be alone for a period of time, while isolation is a habitual and reflexive coping pattern to avoid discomfort and intimacy. If possible, take a full day by yourself and just do whatever you feel like doing. Whatever length of time you spend in solitude, be sure to write as often as you can in your journal. If you should feel guilty or anxious about the thought of doing this, or even while you're actually doing it, use breath to help you relax as much as you possibly can during the period of alone time. Remind yourself to breathe and relax. Whenever you notice your breathing becoming shallow, take 3 or 4 slow, deep breaths and watch how your tension and anxiety dissipate. Enjoy the feeling of having the sacred space of solitude surrounding you, and remember, you're never really alone. Associations with the snow leopard. Solitude, self reliance, balance, silence, stealth, confidence, determination, perseverance, containment, sensitivity, intuition, reliability, mysteriousness, integration, and shamanism. Beloveds, that is so powerful. Um, and understanding the elephant being dainty, the vastness presenting itself in a dignified manner, learning how to be consciously aware of your vastness and not and learning to present yourself in a space that in a way that is not limiting you or detracting from your largeness. And you learn how to do this in the solitude. So I'm thankful for that message. Um, Moving forward, the this next um, it came with stones and different things and a pendulum. I just opened it to the right page and let the page speak to me. It's called Crystal Wisdom for Love, Stephanie Harrison and Barbara Kleiner. And my niece gave me this set. And I opened it up to love, romance. So I'm just going to, and it says that romance is the fifth life area, and it's about passion. This life area reminds you of the importance and power of romantic love. A whirlwind romance is possible as irresistible chemistry ignites between yourself and another. Experience the breathless feeling of falling passionately and hopelessly in love. Allow passion into your life. Let your experience, let yourself experience powerful feelings, extreme emotions, and great ardor. Wow. If that's not the elephant being dainty, if that's not allowing, the video WAP is about a woman's sexuality and her choosing and her choices to be passionate and to reveal herself as being passionate in the moment and opening up in an intimate manner that door, that room, that area, that sacred space, that lower room or that basement or that attic of all of her sexuality that has been repressed. And it's about being the elephant and being dainty. It's about understanding a woman's sexuality is so huge. It is this elephant and it's trying to be dainty. It is this vastness that cannot be contained, yet it's trying to be ladylike. It's trying to be dainty. It's trying to be feminine. It's trying to be the good girl. It's trying to be so many different things other than the conscious awareness of what it is. It is all. And it should be able to express itself as all. Okay. Give your love wholeheartedly. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me read that over. Allow passion into your life. Let yourself experience powerful feelings, extreme emotions, and great ardor. You may feel like throwing caution to the wind as a romantic spark ignites within your heart. Give your love wholeheartedly now, and the rewards could be great. But make sure that the object of your affection is worthy of such great and true love. Symbolism and significance. Cupid is the celestial matchmaker. He is the god of love and the traditional symbol for falling helplessly in love. Cupid shows an outside force uniting two people. Someone or something may be encouraging you to get together with your mate, or possibly you are about to play a role of Cupid for two friends. Cupid's bow and arrow symbolizes the vigor and vitality which often accompanies the early stages of falling in love, and his wings symbolize eternal youth. Cupid reminds us that we are never too old for love and romance, that love can regenerate and bring the bloom of youth back to the cheeks of anyone. Wow. You may be attached to passionate affairs rather than long and enduring relationships. Your great enthusiasm and charm means that you easily make an impression on others, and you seem to bring out the best in your suitors. You probably have a host of friends and admirers surrounding you at this time. Romance is definitely in the air. You may let your heart rule your head, so ensure that you are not addicted to the feeling of being in love. However, if you can find the right person, you can transform an affair into an enduring relationship. Take care not to set your partner up on a pedestal. You may feel let down when they show they are human. Also, you sometimes treat your partner as a prized possession rather than an equal. Be aware that your extravagant gestures and tendencies to lord it over others can be irritating. Look for a partner who genuinely respects and admires you, someone who is your equal and who will not feel eclipsed by your powerful personality. Your partner needs to be affectionate and physical, someone who will not feel overwhelmed by your passion. Are you addicted to romantic adventure, or have you simply not met the right person? Are you genuinely highly sexed and very affectionate, or do you play power games in relationships, using emotions and sexual feelings as ammunition? Does your need to be the center of attention compromise your love life? Discover what really motivates you within a partnership. Looking for love. At the moment, romantic affairs seem more likely than a marriage and a long term commitment. However, it is possible that you will meet someone at a wedding or, thanks to the best man or bridesmaid, at a marriage service. Children born out of wedlock may also figure in the romantic equation. You may benefit from using the services of a professional matchmaker, such as in such as an introductions agency or marriage bureau. In a relationship, reignite the spark of passion that once burned bright between you and your partner. Let yourself become a little daring and perhaps indulge in some exhibitionist behavior to spice up your sex life. Imagine that you are lovers once again and aim to bring the excitement and appeal of an illicit affair into your established relationship. It is time for some extravagance and indulgence. Make time to be affectionate and show your appreciation of one another physically. A dramatic and public display of affection may inject renewed ardor, and enthusiasm into your relationship. Rose quartz. Try to differentiate between feelings of true love and frivolous romance. You might want both aspects in a relationship, but you may have to learn to accept that an endearing love sometimes only has flashes of romance. Be prepared to let go of your pride and put your feelings above all else. Amazite. When Ammonite, there may be an opportunity for you to unleash feelings of great passion. The intensity could surprise you, but You are likely to find the experience spiritually uplifting as well as very freeing. This may only be a short lived phase, so enjoy every moment to the full. Affirmation: I freely experience the power and joy of romance. Wow, that is very powerful, beloveds. That was, again, the fifth life area being romance, and the topic being how does an elephant become dainty? That that just summed it up totally. Totally. I'm going to just leave it there because I'm still ruminating on that myself because that was juicy. That was good. Okay, let's move forward. Um I pulled three cards from the Esther Hicks deck, and the first one was card number 57. My true success is measured by my alignment. And there are a total of 6 hearts, 3 on each one. And I'm just going to show you on those scales. There we go. And this is card number 57, which is a number 12, which is a number 3, which is perfect for what we're speaking of. My true success is measured by my alignment. Alignment with Source, being inside your vortex of creation, becoming one with the true expanded version of you, is the ultimate selfishness. The elephant being dainty. And yes, in that state of alignment, all good things must come to you. Every rocket of desire that you have launched will be fulfilled. True success is not the attainment of things, the achievement of tasks, or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love with yourself. That is acknowledging you are that elephant and you are vast beyond dimensions of containment and confinement, and doing it with daintily, showing up daintily with it, with all that knowledge and all that wisdom and all that being. 41, which is also a 5. Making peace with my today will improve my future. I love that card. Okay. And the card says, it may sound odd, but the fastest way to get to a new and improved situation is to make peace with your current situation. By making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release your resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. But if you rail against the injustices of your current situation, you hold yourself in vibrational alignment with what you do not want, and you cannot then move in the directions of improvement. It defies law. Wow. And these two cards, very powerful together, beloved, very powerful. It's about the balance and the alignment and bringing things vibrationally into alignment and understanding you as on one of those scales being the most abundant and balancing that with everything in your orbit. Wow, as I just said that, I look at this card. This card is number 8, which is the Mama Goddess number for me. There we go. Isn't that a deep card? Look at that. Wow. The universal law of attraction is managing my expansion. Beloveds, like I said, these cards are so What's the word? Is so instrumental and so integral and so connected to the topic, today's topic of the elephant being dainty. The expansion being so wide and so vast, and being able to still be wide and vast beyond space, dimension, time, and represent and present yourself daintily, not having a big head, not being a know-it-all, not trying to be a spiritual whatever, knowing that you are God, but being humble in that fact. Okay. The law of attraction is the universal manager of all vibration, which expands to everything that exists through the universe. And so, at the same time that the law of attraction is responding to the vibrational content of your physical thoughts, it is also responding to the vibrational content of your inner being. Woo! Mind blown, beloveds, because that is simply saying, as you are consciously aware of the expansion of your conscious awareness being as big as an elephant, as vast as the divine intellect that it came from, being an offshoot of it, you, that is expanding space within you, in your inner being, to harbor more of that kind of wisdom, more of that kind of knowledge, more empowerment, more space and room will expand, which means other things that are smaller than that will be cleared out, will be pushed away, will be not seen anymore. Won't, and if it's seen, it will be so minuscule, it will be so little that it won't matter. That is so deep. And that light that's going in over the head and shining down straight through, that is so powerful. And there are 8 of those. So baby, that is so deep. Let me move forward. um the last card is the 9 of stones, and it is taken from the Medicine Woman guidebook. Pay attention. We've been talking about, I see a circle, I see expansion, I see a city in the background. There's a man and a woman there, and they're planting and harvesting a garden. So let's see what this card says. Okay, I'm being told to read what the suit of stones means in this book. The suit of stones and in other decks has been called pentacles or coins. So in the regular tarot deck, um, this would be the 9 of pentacles or 9 of coins. In the original Medicine Woman inner guidebook, it was called beads, but it has been renamed stones in order to bring your awareness back to the source of all goods and means of exchange. Earth herself. The substance Earth is the raw material for everything made on this planet, including its life forms, the plants, animals, and human beings. In 21st century technological societies, there is little awareness of the consciousness that dwells within anything made of earth other than the human form. However, the native people of the world have always seen consciousness indwelling all things. It may be easy for you to recognize consciousness in animals, even plants. But what about dirt itself, stones, and human created goods? To get a sense of how consciousness might be in everything, Try to think of it this way. Imagine the original native people living their harmonious lives close to nature. They lived, acquired wisdom through experiences, and died. Generation after generation was buried in the earth, where bodies were transformed into elemental earth forms once again. Dust to dust, bones and flesh changed into smaller and smaller living organisms, microbiological and chemical life elements, the nutrients that create future bodies through the plants, soil, and stones. Through the soul of the human being, though the soul of the human being has left its material form and expanded into higher levels of life. Wow, if that's not the elephant becoming Dainty, whoo! It has left something of its wisdom in each element from which it had previously taken form. Literally, the stones are our ancestors. The spirits of our ancestors may live elsewhere in higher vibratory bodies, possibly furnished from earth incarnations, but they have left us their life wisdoms in the substance of earth itself. How do we discover these wisdoms hidden within things? Conscious awareness expanding. Natural objects such as plants and stones can be related to in a way similar to how you would relate to human beings. After all, they once were somebody. Now their elements have entered a new kingdom. Their aliveness and growth have begun following different laws. Their guides are nature spirits and divas, beings mostly unseen by human eyes, fairies, elves, gnomes, and all the little people who inhabit Earth Mother's mystery are their friends. If you are among the fortunate few, you may be able to cross from your human spiritual world into theirs through the opening you create by your belief in their existence. But whether or not you see fairies, elves, and such, you can still honor the life you do see, the plants, trees, and stones of Earth's body. Think of crystals and gems as the crystallization of the purest consciousness bequeathed to us by our ancestors. The crystallization of the consciousness. So, again, Mama gave us the elephant as a symbol of that consciousness crystallized into the form of the elephant. And she says, make it Dainty. A clear consciousness of total love. Wait a minute. Okay. Think of crystals and gems as the crystallization of the purest consciousness bequeathed to us by our ancestors. You may think of crystal as Christ all, a stone created by a Christed consciousness, a stone created by a Christed consciousness, a clear consciousness of total love. Holding this view, these stones are very sacred. But who can tap this consciousness from the stone? Only those seeking the Christ light within themselves. Each gem and stone is an individual entity with a lesson of its own to teach, and each one is also a jewel in the conscious living body of Mother Earth herself. Mother Earth is a very luxurious being. Again, the vastness being dainty. Though she may appear quite simple on the surface, her treasures like your own are within. They take some digging and polishing to uncover your conscious awareness. She also has gifts of gold and silver to give you, precious metals, ores, oils, and woods. Most often we receive these gifts in our modern lives after they have been manufactured into products by others. It is easy for us to forget Earth's part in their creation, and it is particularly easy to forget the aliveness of these things. Native people once understood that for every process that put a natural object through, they must make up for its loss of aliveness or consciousness by replacing it with their own. Put simply, when they polished and shaped a stone, changing its former integrity, they added their loving desire to create according to an inspired vision. In other words, they put their spirit into each object. Again, that is the elephant becoming dainty, beloveds. This is blowing me away. Today we think of artists and craftspeople doing this, but in native lives every process was art. A builder talked to the trees and stones, requesting them to give up their forms to become a dwelling. With their agreement she would proceed, adding her love every step of the way. The finished product was then a living thing, a dwelling filled with life energy. You can intuitively sense this energy in any handcrafted item. What about present day mass produced items? These are, for the most part, dead. They have often been taken, no doubt, without asking permission from the earth, as raw materials in a disgraceful and ungrateful way. Nothing has been given back to the earth in return for her treasures, her body laid bare, unloved, unrespected. The materials are handled by a series of unhappy, underpaid, uninspired workers ignorant of their role in this crime. More humans who are also suffering from this disrespect and feel lack of it causes in their lives try to make up for it by charging a lot of money to replace the worth what that has been stolen. Beloveds, that is so much needs to penetrate us and expand our conscious awareness of everything that comes from the earth and our respect for it and our lack of disrespect for it. And that the choices that we have made by treating the earth's body laid bare, unloved, unrespected, results in unhappy, underpaid workers and a world that is just not conscious of itself because it isn't aware of what it's doing to itself on so many different levels. What is being stolen from it on so many different levels: psychic, spiritual, physical. You simply needing a tool or wanting a tiny pleasure, purchase the goods. Then you become a part of this chain. You have traded your work, earned money, for a pretty and useful but dead thing. From you, it will ask for life. If you value it, love it, care for it, use it fully for its purpose, and thank the elements from which it is made, you will have given back the consciousness it was lacking. Ideally, you will then pass it on, an antique shining with the patina of having aged with care, or you will bury it once again to become the body of Earth Mother, restoring it to its original source. How much garbage do we dump, pour, scatter over the Earth Mother without thinking of what we have consumed, and now we're done with it, so we just toss it? Are our children aware of what we do with the garbage we create? This is part of the climate, the global climate um, frequencies and things that we are experiencing, the storms and so forth and so on. It's because of the amount of physical dumping of garbage that we're doing upon the earth. We must do better, beloveds. You may have and enjoy all the gold and riches of the earth. You may acquire as many possessions as you wish. Your power and theirs comes only from loving them and using them with your own high consciousness. Any object can empower you if you treat it as an entity with whom you have a relationship. Any object can steal your life energy if you are unaware of its life process. If it has not been taken from the earth, if it was not taken from the earth and created respectfully, you must understand that it will haunt you with its desperate need. Foods are gifts from Mother Earth, too. It is perhaps easiest here to see that you end up healthier if you garden, cook, and eat simply with love. If you eat highly processed, chemicalized foods from abused soils, your body must simply give up its life force to them. Youth has an abundance of life force, and the result of sugar, soft drink, abused animal, pesticide, vegetable diet can go unnoticed for years, but balance will come either through human awareness and change or disintegration of the body, causing death and transformation back into those simple living organisms that create nutrients for the earth. Dust to dust. You must see the cycle of life. There is absolutely no taking without giving. I have elaborated on the suit of stones because we live in a very material, consuming society and do not see our part in the process. The current technological culture doesn't want to recognize death, decay, disintegration, and transformation. Every precaution is taken against seeing or talking about the end, because the end is not seen to also be the beginning, but it is. All forms, wow, elephant being Dainty again. And I need to stop. Okay, beloveds, I had to plug in my computer charger. So thank you. Let's see. Okay. I may repeat this. Foods are gifts from Mother Earth too. It perhaps easiest here to see that you end up healthier if you garden, cook, and eat simply and with love. If you eat highly processed, chemicalized foods with abused soil, from abused soils, your body must simply give up its life force to them. Youth has an abundance of life force, and the results of a sugar, soft drink, abused animal, pesticide, vegetable diet can go unnoticed for years. But balance will come either through the human awareness and change or disintegration of the body, causing death and transformation back into those simple living organisms that create the nutrients for earth. Dust to dust. You will see the circle of life. There is absolutely no taking without giving. I have elaborated on the suit of stones because we live in a very material, consuming society and do not see our part in the process. The current technological culture does not want to recognize death, decay, disintegration, and transformation. Every precaution is taken against seeing or talking about the end, because the end is not seen to be also the beginning, but it is. All forms change into new forms. Age becoming youth, death becoming life, disease becoming health, goods becoming earth, earth becoming us. There can be no true hoarding of anything. You can only have as long as you care for. Loving care of anything, your body, your relationships, your house, your car, your toothbrush, your talent, is all that keeps it going. Leave anything alone without your consciousness maintaining it, and it will soon be gone, changed into something else. To have, you must hold. Hold gently and kindly in your mind the image of loving respect for all beings and all things. Then they will live for you and give life to you as well. And that is what the definition of the suit of stones is. And now getting to the card that was pulled once again was the Nine of Stones. And we'll see why we read that. This is Nine of Stones, passing on knowledge. This is the prayer. Now that I have perfected my product, I am able to share my way with another who aspires to meet my quality. In teaching, I open the way to be filled once again by new and fresh ideas. I continue to grow as I give my old knowledge away. In managing, I am vigilant and clear, yet always kind and gentle with my instruction. Like a loving father, I guide. Like a conscious mother, I provide. The lesson of this card. Your skills are freely flowing now. Whether or not you have recognition by the world, you can see your success. Your work has brought you many things. You are in greater harmony with the material world, and it shows. The elephant being dainty. Can you handle your changing image? Elephant being dainty. Do you mind the appearance of wealth? You are reaching material maturity. You may be in a parenting or teaching role soon if you aren't ready. Mother Earth will be asking you to pass on your knowledge. It is a good time to start someone on your path. Aho, Mama. And that is this reading. That is the readings for the elephant being dainty. Can an elephant being dainty? And beloveds, we have received, the cards have spoken. They have given us some, wow, some tremendous information to expand our conscious awareness in this current moment. And I am excited and I'm moved in such a way, and it's validation for me in so many different ways, because once again I am being led to give from an even larger space than what I've been giving from, and to realize that it's not about the recognition of me giving, because it's coming from a vastness that we all are a part of anyway, and that what I receive is worth so much more than a mere recognition from someone else. I receive this knowledge and wisdom, the expansion of my consciousness, because I'm giving. And as I'm giving, I'm also receiving more room. And I'm also aware of what I'm giving is nourishing many, is being consumed by many. And that within itself is reward for the elephant that's being dainty. And so, like I said, this whole show, this whole video, this whole sharing has been one of great joy for me. And I look forward to where it's taking me next. I'm very excited um, in the abundance that is there. That it's so much deeper than just this, and this blows my mind. But knowing that it only gets more abundant and more nutritious and more revealing and more intimate as I become more consciously aware of this frequency that I am receiving, that I am reflecting. It means a lot. It means a lot. And so, again, namaste. Thank you. Share this with those who can use it. And I hope it feeds many. And I'll be watching it myself and telling my daughters to watch it. And it just is what it is, beloveds. And we are entering into an age where our consciousness is expanding. And with that comes a deeper responsibility. And I'd like to give a shout out to my grandson, Amante, for his birthday and him turning into a teenager. I'm so excited for him as a young man. I hope his conscious awareness is expanding and he will allow himself to make those choices that will help his life and guide his path and keep him safe, but allow him to shine as the divine being that he is. Aho, I love you. And I love you. Okay, that's going to do it. Thank you, beloveds. Namaste.